Good morning. It's a warm and muggy day here in Minnesota. And there's nothing else I'd rather be doing today than fishing. And so I'm glad that you're able to join me today. I'm scouting out this lake for a tournament that I'm going to be participating in next week. It's nice and cool right now. Well, relatively cool compared to how warm it's going to get today. Winds are going to get up to 8, gusts up to 16. So it's going to be a pretty calm day. Going to be a little bit cloudy, and that means the fishing should be pretty good. I normally don't review the names of the lakes I fish at. I want to respect the fisherman's code. But this one's a really popular lake in the metro area, and so I don't mind dropping the name of this one. This is, if you can't already tell, for those who are in Minnesota, this is Lake Makaska, formerly known as Lake Calhoun. This is my first time out on this lake, and it looks interesting. A lot of the feature of this lake appears to be the weed lines. And so we're going to try to find some good stuff on this lake and see if we can't pull out some fish. As you can see, I'm running a new graphing unit. I decided to upgrade from my Garmin Striker to a Helix 7 with side imaging. Just regular side imaging, not mega side imaging. Either way, this should be a big upgrade for me. And I'm going to have to figure out how to use this darn thing. But I'm hoping it can help me locate things that I can't see with regular 2D sonar. Hopefully you guys can see this. I think fishing this edge right here would be pretty good. So it's just a little bit ahead of me here. First one, a little dank, but I think, I'll take every little bit of clue I can get. I don't think I can really fish the weeds. It's all mostly submerged vegetation here. So I gotta find that clean edge and then fish the clean edge. Just that area right before the weeds. So I got on a drop shot right now, and I got a little one. So we could probably maybe try a Neko rig as well. I can fish that a little bit quicker than the drop shot and just work those clean weed edges. That was in about 15 feet of water, 14, 15. I'm in 18 right now, so might be a bit tad deep, not near the grass. Ah. a little bit bigger, but still dank. And right where, kind of in that same sort of structure that I caught that first one on, right on the clean side of the weed edge, and 13, 14, 15 feet of water. Caught on that one, was on a big worm. So a little bit bigger, but it seems they're relating to that sort of structure on this lake. Yeah, because there's not, I'm not seeing any emergent not emergent, like pads and clear cover. It's mostly submerged vegetation that may take the top, but most of the grass is under the water, and they do form some structure. But you can't see that with the naked eye. This one feels a little bit nicer. Oh, it's a pike, I think. Yeah. Oh, come back here, buddy. Nice heavy pike. Not what I'm looking for, but it's always fun fighting them. Alright, we're gonna have to mark the spot here. The objective of today is not to catch a whole bunch of fish. It's to locate where there are fish. And ideally I'd like to catch a couple nice ones, so that way I can have some confidence that there are some quality fish in here. So far I've only caught a couple small ones and a pike. There are fish, that's for sure. Whether there's some big ones, that's yet to be proven to me. And the lake is going to have to prove that to me for it to be worth it. I'm going to continue to work these weed lines. And I might have to switch to something smaller. Although this did get bit by a dink and a pike. Going to a Neko or my drop shot. It's not going to be such a bad idea. A Ned rig might be good as well. So I'm going to time the Neko and See if a bigger one would take that. What do we got here? What do we got here? Looks like a little nicer fish here. Eh. Okay, so the points of the weed line. The inside turns. Drop shot. Could try a jig also in these same areas. That's grass. Wait, is that grass? That's grass. Ooh. That's a nice one. Yeah. How did that go? Okay. That's more of the size I'm looking for. Okay. Okay. Yeah, maybe 16 or so. Just a quick rough. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe 16 or so. I'm realizing what's even more useful than having a side imaging is having the chart. And knowing where I'm at on the lake and what weed or what depth I'm fishing in. Be able to see those contour lines. It's really helpful. Fish. Yeah. Holy cow. got off. Caught a glimpse of him. That might have been a pike. Boy, that sucks. I mean, I didn't want him, but you know, when something fights that strong, that hard, kind of wanted to get him in the boat. I'm gonna have to retie this. There we go. Not a super big one, but yeah, a little one. Okay, well, this is a spot. Not a big one. A little one. Easy, bud. That's a nice one. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, that's a nice one. That's what I'm looking for. I ran out of battery right in the middle of that, but I switched over to a 3/8 ounce jig and caught a nice 18-incher. So it looks like the big ones are going to want to go after jigs. I mean, that's one big one. Otherwise, the Neko and the drop shot has been getting me danks. So if I can find them with the Neko and the drop shot, then I can switch over to the jig to try to see if I can't pick up a bigger one. That one I caught looked pretty beat up. He's been probably caught several times. Felt bad for the guy. But alright, I think we got a little bit of a pattern developed. A little one. Alright, little guy, hey, I'm trying to get you out. Little guy. Yeah, I think this is how I'm gonna have to find them. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video for today. I'm gonna keep fishing still, but I'm just gonna put the camera away and kind of work out the final little bits of details. I think I figured out a pattern that could work. This lake is mostly filled with submerged vegetation, so the weeds come up maybe a foot from the top. Some of them will grow up and just kind of tick the top of the water, but for the most part there's not a whole lot of floating vegetation or emergent vegetation where it comes up and covers the lake and gives you a clear picture of kind of what's underneath. A lot of it's under the water that you can't see. So actually getting the new graph was actually really helpful in helping me locate some of these spots. But I found the fish right in that 10 to 15 feet, mostly 15 feet, where the weeds come to a stop and there's clear water. And it seems the bottom of the lake is pretty, looks like it's pretty sandy, so it's a hard bottom. And then you know, I was able to catch a few using the Neko and the drop shot, but then in the same area, where at least by the beach, South Beach, I threw a jig in the same area and slowly dragged that and caught an 18-incher. So I think the pattern for game day, if I were to come here, is fish those sharp weed edges with a finesse worm, Neko drop shot to locate them. Though with those two techniques, I was able to get a bunch of smaller fish. But then it seemed, at least one time by the beach, I was able to hook into a bigger one when I threw a jig in the same area. So perhaps the Neko and the drop shot can serve as a search bait, and then I can switch over to the jig. Once I confirm fish in the area, I can use the jig to hopefully trigger a big bass. Moving bait did me no good today, and you know, it's summer, so the most aggressive thing I can throw is a paddle tail, right? A swim bait, a swim jig. Even with this wind, I don't know if a chatterbait's gonna work. I'm gonna give that a try, actually. But for the most part, I think going finesse is gonna have to be the technique, fishing those sharp weed edges and using a jig or maybe a big worm. I also caught, I think, one on a big worm. So that's kind of the game plan for here. If I were to come back, if I decide to fish this lake for the tournament, I have some other lakes that I fished before and I have some idea of that I might consider those. So, but thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, bye bye now.